Hey everybody, welcome on in. Welcome on in. It is Elson932 on YouTube. How are you today? We're here for somebody's son. We are here for somebody's son. Hey Debbie, glad to see you. Glad to have you here. Hey Ari, glad to have you here. Yay, Samantha's here. We're on time definitely for Samantha. So come on in. We're talking about somebody's son, episode 5. I will give a disclaimer right now. Aubrey could not join me today, so I will be going solo today. So I hope you don't mind. I've been doing somebody's son with actually Aubrey, and hopefully we can have her here for next week's episode, which too will be a doozy. Next week's episode looks like it is going to be just as fire as this week. So you know what? Oh, Ari says she hasn't watched an episode since episode 1. Ari, we're going to forgive you because you keep coming through, in the chat. So we're going to answer those questions. So episode 1, you at least know who's voted out. Okay. So this episode 5, we start with, let me grab my overlays. We start with James and his mother, Charlize. So, okay. I have Chisholm is here in a lighter color because I don't know why I have the nagging feeling that, the girls that were voted out may come back. But that's just me. So James and Miss Charlize are together. James says he picks Alicia for the date for winning the photo challenge. And Charlize say, navigating through the awkwardness is a pride, but she chooses Sabrina. She thinks Sabrina is the best fit for James. So she does pick Alicia. Okay. Sabrina thought she was going to be the next date. Bravon does not have a poker face, y'all. Bravon's face showed everything. She was mad. She was mad that he's getting a date with another woman. And in this case, Alicia. So on the date, I'm going to do all of James and Charlize first, and then I'm going to do the other young man and his mom. So the dinner was outside in the backyard. I have an issue with this. Why are we still at the house? Let's have a date outside the house. Because it's like we're not getting to, be loose and fancy free. So one thing I thought about Alicia in this is that she was fishing for compliments. It was subtle. It was subtle, but she was still fishing for compliments. So he tells her she's gorgeous and she wants to feed him, and they feed each other. Okay. He did admit he'd never dated 3 women at one time. She did ask a serious question. Okay. She did ask a serious question. Hey, to go to Africa, welcome on in. She asked a serious question on if his mother getting sick brought him and his mother, closer together. And he said one day she almost didn't make it. And he wished his mom would be there for his future. That was his prayer, to see him have a wife, see him have kids, see him accomplish several things in his life. Alicia says, she finds it wonderful that he rallied with his mom when she was sick. That was commendable. How they usually say how a man treats his mother is a good way on noticing how he may treat you in life. So we go on that she says she was raised in the church, but she questioned some things. Alicia questioned things. She said it isn't the religion, she does carry the values, but she questions the stories told through faith and through the Bible. He said faith is important, it's foundational, and if he and his partner doesn't have the same foundation with faith, it's a wrap. But then he backtracks and says, as long as the values are there and she is open-minded. Dude, either the faith is strong or it ain't. But Alicia says the convo is going very well. She likes talking to him. And he said he did not want to get fed in front of his mom like the photo shoot. See how the mom had Sabrina feed him the strawberries mouth to mouth? He didn't like that because it was in front of his mom. But he said this is a special moment. And Alicia says to us that she's falling for James. He said he wants to kiss Alicia, but he is aware there is a house full of women, and that house full of women includes his mother. Don't forget that, lady, James, okay? Samantha says, I did think Alicia's questions were good ones. It was more than just surface level. Yes, it was more than surface level. She wanted to know, how did you support your mom and your family through her rough health times? Because if the mother is a matriarch of the family, she is definitely the foundation, and that would shake the family up. How did he respond in a time of crisis? Also, I could tell her how he would respond if this ever happens again. She needs to give him the space to be with his mom. So mom, on the other hand, talks with Sabrina and Bravon. Sabrina, is not admitting that their lips touched during the photo shoot. We saw it though, Sabrina. We saw it. Mom says, own it, but Sabrina, apparently mom is thinking Sabrina wants to keep a good girl image. And she said, if I weren't here, would you be more aggressive? And Bree says, yes. Yes, yes, yes. He said, because mom, Bravon, I'm saying Bree, Bravon said, yeah, mom, you being here adds a whole other layer. So mom is thinking, so Bravon, you're holding back. And mama don't want them holding back. But mama, you have to understand, there's a respect level. Some of these ladies, how to interact with him, there's a respect level that they're not going to do in front of you. Okay? It's okay to kiss and hug or whatever. He is not going to grab bouquet in front of his mother. And she's not going to rub on him like he is a daggone scratch pad, for a cat, because you are around here, mama. You have to know that. They're not going to go after him and interact with him the same way if you were not here. Do not act obtuse. That was my only comment with, Charlize in this whole thing. So next morning we have breakfast, and James is cooking breakfast for the house. Alicia, said she, wants to be fed breakfast, and I'm like, girl, please calm down. Bravon comes down. She has her shades on, and she says it's because of allergies. And nobody in the house is buying that, and neither am I. Do y'all buy Bravon's excuse that it's allergies? Because what they said right away is that Bravon is probably, Bravon is crying her eyes out about the date that he had with Alicia. Samantha says, Alicia appears to have a confidence and swag that Sabrina and Bravon lack, at least for now. But time is not on their side in this type of show. Exactly. You got to let it out. You got to let it out and just be yourself. But then again, Alicia also has the confidence. Remember, she said she is also a hostess. She is always mingling with people. I think they said bottle girl, but she's always mingling and talking with people. And so she knows how to interact. She's always on her toes, so to speak. So I don't think she will be shook off her square other than mom being there. Samantha agrees that Bravon was shook and emotional. She was so emotional. But why lie about the allergies? Say, I'm having a trying day. I just don't want to have my puffy eyes out. That's all she had to say. That's all she had to say. So Sabrina did agree that Bravon was probably emotional. Mama says, that Sabrina is late. Not Sabrina, sorry. That Bravon is late. When Bravon came down and said, anything y'all need help with? She's like, you're late. We already done. Alicia said, girls can, they can cozy up to mom, but she likes James. What happens is Bravon and Sabrina go and have breakfast outside on the patio with mom. Alicia stayed inside with James at the kitchen counter. Now, I find that odd because we're supposed to be spending time with this man. Yes, mom has some decisions. I don't think mom will have all decisions the entire show, but y'all are leaving Alicia to have one-on-one time with him like back to back. She had dinner with him last night, and now she's having breakfast with him in the morning. Y'all need to cut it up. One of y'all go hang with mom, and then you flip it. I will probably eat outside with mom and come back inside and then finish washing up a dish or something while I'm having time with him too. Because what you're not going to do, Alicia, is have more one-on-one time with him. That was not going to happen on my watch. But these young ladies are stuck on mom. And James was very flippant in how he talked to Alicia about that. he was like, yeah, they could cozy up on the mom if they want. Yeah, whatever. And I was like, yeah. But Bravon, before this, Bravon said, I'm gonna let my man be my man. James did not like it and says she's marking her territory. And when somebody said, word on the street, Mr. James, are you single? He confirms, he's like, yeah, I'm single. Bravon said she is speaking things as if they are, because she is trying to manifest that James is her man. Girl, I'm gonna need you to pause. I'm gonna need you to stop right now. I understand that's the case, but you're gonna have to put in the work with Charlize and with James. Balance it. So if you're crying your eyes out about this, it's like you shouldn't be leaving him with any time with Alicia. So Sabrina, Bravon and Charlize were outside and she asked about Bible study. And Sabrina said she likes it because there's no judgments, there's no judgmental folks there. I was like, I'd like to see that Bible study because I know most Bible studies, the judgment is at the front door. Mom says Mom was talking about, Black women, and she was acknowledging, we are the most disrespected group, but, we gotta love us. So Bravon opens up that because she's been in the pageant industry, judges are judging them more harshly, your value, your merit based on your looks, and it impacts how she has to present herself now. And she said this has made her question her value, that it's only based on her looks. And being herself and her whole personality may be not enough. And Mom tells her, you have to be your authentic self. And you are enough. So Bravon cries. I mean, she cries. And she gets a hug from Mom. And I thought that was a very touching moment. And Sabrina, feels for Bree since James is seeing her, Sabrina, and Alicia more than he's seeing Bravon. And remember, he had the first date with Bravon. And Bravon was talking. She has been talking, trying to present herself, trying to present who she is, like you would in a pageant, asking questions and presenting all of you. So Mom is like, you got to stop that. Just be your authentic self. So she said she felt the words from Mom, and she said Bree is into James, and it may be a bit overwhelming for her. So I'm glad that Mom, Charlize, did see that Bravon is really into James. I mean, Bravon, if I was to say something, I think Bravon has fallen for James already, and she just cannot untangle herself from this. I just feel like she is in for a world of hurt if she is not chosen by James. And I can feel it for her. It's like, oh, you like just a little too much, Samantha says, I think Alicia's chemistry was so strong, Bravon and Sabrina were lost in the sauce. They are banking on getting cozy with Mama to be the strategy. And Debbie does agree with you with that. I do see that. I see that cozying up to Mom is a strategy, but here's my thing. The strategy, too, is not to let him have one-on-one time too much with one other participant. You got to balance your strategy. There are two people here to divide and conquer. There are two people here. And the fact that y'all decide to both go to Mom, y'all left him open for company with Alicia. Y'all left it open for Alicia to go from the date last night to having breakfast with him the next morning. That wasn't going to happen. I will cozy up to Mom on another meal. What you're not going to do is have back-to-back-to-back meetings with him on your own. Oh, no. The strategy needs to be changed. The strategy needs to be changed because you are not going to have him know you as well. Yes, it's emotional. Yes, you were crying your eyes out last night that he had that date. Yes, Sabrina was like, okay, whatever. But why give Alicia more time with him? Why do that? I thought that was the weirdest thing. Yes, Mom has a say. Yes, Mom has a say. But Mom is not the only say. Mom is not going to make the final decision, at least in my mind. But why give Alicia more time with him? That is so, it irked the heck out of me. I was like, girls, you ain't playing the right strategy. At least Sabrina, because she hasn't had one-on-one date with James yet. At least she could have stayed inside. Somebody, we would have had to divide and conquer. Girl, I'm gonna need you to go in there and interrupt that. We can't have them continuing, their whole, date is like a continuation of their date from last night. Samantha says Alicia is playing chess. Yes, she is. She is playing chess and she is here to win. Now, whether she keeps James or not, I don't see Alicia and James making it, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it loud and clear. I do not think Alicia and James, if they do make it out of here, I don't see them making it. Because if he about the church, if he about going to church, being at the church, doing Bible study and all that stuff, that ain't going to work with Alicia. And it ain't going to work with him for having a hostess for a spouse in the church. I'm just saying. The church folks are really judgmental. They're going to be judgmental. I do not see Alicia and James being, long term. Hey, D. Brown, thank you so much for joining us. We're just wrapping up talks about James and Charlize from episode 5. But I don't see James and Alicia making it, too much further after this whole thing. I don't see it. She seems to be more upbeat with life, and he seems like, as he said, he want to chill sometimes at home and don't even talk. Ravon used to competing with women in pageants. It's obvious that she sees this as a competition that she's going to lose. Right. And if you start mentally thinking that you're going to lose this, you're done lost. If you think you're going to lose, you're done lost. I'm just saying it. Ravon needs to turn it around. At the pageants, if the outfit ain't looking too good, you need to turn it around. Samantha says, insecurity and playing coy is ending Bree and Sabrina's game. Right. Because Mama thinks Sabrina is trying to give a good girl image and she's not getting to the meat and potatoes of who Sabrina really is. I need Sabrina to step forward now. Now, I'll give my pick as Sabrina. Unlike Mama, I pick Sabrina, but she needs to come out that shell. I would, Sabrina and Bravon, gonna last way longer than James and Alicia. Just got here. I don't see them lasting either. Thank you, D. Brown. Ooh, and thank you all for welcoming D. Brown into the chat. We're all very friendly here. Even if we disagree, we don't bite. Even if we disagree, we don't bite. So I'm glad to hear y'all thoughts on the lineup that James has. I just think James is caught up in how exciting Alicia seems. And he will love the excitement. He will love being taken out of his shell. Again, I don't know James. I don't know Alicia. But it seems in what we're seeing in this edited, produced show that James is more tapered. A little more laid back than Alicia. And even if he is more of a fun guy than we're seeing here, I don't see James being on the high-end fun like Alicia is. I don't see it. Now, the Sabrina, yes, we could go have fun. We could go, to a wine bar. We can go hang out with friends and still go to the church and hang out with your mama. Yes. But I don't know. I'm kind of scared of, Alicia's, of even seeing the IG. I know I'm projecting. I'm kind of scared of seeing what it may look like. I'm not going to look at it, but I'm just thinking she's more party than James is. She's more party than pulpit. I'm just saying. What are your thoughts? Leave it in the comments about James, his date with Alicia, and then what about Bravon and Sabrina's thought on just strategy of working on Mama rather than working on him and leaving it an opening for Alicia to have more time with James. So let's move on to the next one. Who we saw next was, now I respect the strategy in this one. We finally get back to Joshua and Uma. We finally get back to Joshua. We ain't seen them in quite a while. We ain't seen them in quite a while. I was like, wait a minute. When are we coming back? And as I said, Martha here is in a shadow because she was voted out in the first episode. So I just have it there in shadow because I think these folks may be coming back. They just may be coming back. So he said he felt good with all of them. Okay. He felt good with all of them, taking the photos. But Oma picks Tamaris as the one he will have his date with. Now remember, he had Lexi in the kitchen taking the photos. Then he had Chambrielle on the stairs and they kissed. Okay. And then Tamaris was at the pool table in the game room, and Tamaris refused his kisses. She's like, you ain't gonna come from Chambrielle's lips to mine. So Oma decided to give Joshua the date with Tamaris. Hey, I said what I said. Glad to see you made it. So what Oma is saying is that she wanted to give the date to Tamaris because she wants her to come out of her shy shell and have some time with Joshua. Joshua is saying that the kiss was a kiss. Meanwhile, Chambrielle is like, well, why would you pick anybody else? We and I had a kiss. I got the kiss. Why? I should get the date. Lexi says she wants to know the answers to deep questions. And he's like a closed book. What does he do? Because the ladies are like, he just tells entrepreneur, what kind of entrepreneur are you, sir? What do you do? And they're keeping, meaning Joshua and Uma, they're keeping it from the ladies that he is a pro football player. They're keeping it from them because they don't want that stigma to be there for ladies to be after him for his money or the fame of being a football girlfriend or wife. So they're like, we're not going to tell him about football. So I'm guessing none of these ladies know about football. So leave it alone. So they go, and here's the thing. Who's managing the budget? Who is managing this budget? Because Joshua got to take Tamaris out on a date at a restaurant. Meanwhile, James has got to have his dates on the back patio. Who is managing all of this? I want to know, because James is getting the short budget. James is getting the short end of the stick. Because James got his mama peeping out the window when he's having his dinner with Bravon. And we didn't see mama peeping out the window with James again. But daggone it. Joshua gets to take Tamaris out. James has got it outside the back patio. It ain't even the same house. The budget is off. The budget is off. If I was James, I would be fuming right now watching this playback. If I was Charlize or even the ladies he was dating, it's like, wait a minute. Y'all had money. Y'all had money to go. So why does Joshua get to go out at a restaurant and James doesn't? I mean, I'm not a fan of either of these gentlemen. I don't know any of them, but I think fair is fair. I think fair is certainly fair. So on his date, Tamara says she feels seen. He did not let her touch a door. She did not touch a chair either. It feels to her like college love. And she asked him what was his name, and he said Lou. And I was like, ooh, if you know anything with football, you know his nickname. You know that Lou name, okay? If you know football, I was like, Joshua, you're going to be telling them what your name is on the low. But I don't know if any of these ladies really know football. So he said he does recognize it was hard for her to see him kiss Chambrielle. And I'm like, why are we bringing up kissing another woman on our date? But I understand. He had to say, hey, I understand this was an issue. I know where you were coming from, and I hope we can move past it. But I was like, we shouldn't be talking about another woman on our date. She said she knew what to tell him when he asked what, she knew. He asked her basically, what do you want in a man? And she knew exactly what to tell him. And he tells us that he is guarded because he is a professional athlete. After the date, she thinks they got closer. She does say that, her love languages are acts of service, words of affirmation, and physical touch. They do hold hands. And the ladies at the house are plotting. Y'all, the ladies back at the house, Lexi and Chambrielle, they are plotting. And we see them plotting. And I love it. The ladies look good too. I'm sorry. Y'all look good at in the swimsuits at the pool. Y'all looked amazing. So they were like, they were like, when they come back, okay, we need to separate them. We need to divide and conquer. Now, this is a plan, okay? Listen, Bravon. Listen, Shamrani. This is a plan. It's a plan you can see through, but it's still a plan. They divide and conquer. So Shambrielle was to take Tamaris over to the side and talk to her about the date, and Lexi is to take Joshua aside and find out about the date. Now, Tamaris tells Shambrielle that she and Joshua kissed off camera. Okay, I wonder if it was in the car, if it was outside the restaurant. She just said on their way back, they were singing, talking about music, and I was like, ooh. So the driver saw the kiss. I'm like, why are we not having cameras in the car? I thought we did. I thought we had cameras in the car when we came with, Mama at first. Did we take the cameras out the car? Where are the cameras? Samantha said the backstage partner was sending me. Yes, it was as well. I mean, but Lexi and Shambrielle were plotting together to get information together, and I was not mad at it. Shambrielle says, hey, he needs someone to ask the real deep questions. So that's because when she asked Tamara, she said the only thing she would have done differently was ask more questions. Now, Lexi is having one-on-one with Joshua. So now, again, another strategy, but hey, he's not spending more time with Tamaris' recent date. So it leaves room for Lexi to have time with Joshua. So he says he feels like it's an interview. And, she asks, is he sold on, his date, Tamaris, or is he open to other people? He reminds her, we could be talking about us rather than Tamaris. And I was like, Joshua, you are a good player. All I said was, Joshua, you are a player. Please, you're a player. Because you redirected her. I ain't going to talk about the date. Why don't we talk about us? We could be talking about us right now. Why would you talk about another woman when you are here with me? Joshua, I saw your player card full frontal. Samantha, I agree. That seems so immature of them to be plotting as such. I did like the plot, though, y'all. Y'all know I like a little petty. I like the plot. Lexi got better of the plotting one-on-one time. Take notes, Bravon. Yes. Lexi played Shambrielle so she would get that time with Joshua. Now, y'all, we have to, yes, Lexi needed that time. We have to be nice to Lexi. Shambrielle got a kiss. Tamaris got a date. So now she get one-on-one time with Joshua. Isn't that kind of even, Steven? I think that's a little even. I mean, come on. Shambrielle got a kiss. To go to Africa, so Joshua is a player. As a former professional football player, he is accustomed to seeing women compete for his attention. He knows what they are doing. Yes. And if y'all look and saw his smirk when he's sitting there talking to Lexi, you know that was the smirk he has used in his player formation. I'm sorry, Joshua, I saw it. She had a drink ready for him. He was sitting with the drink and he gave her a nice little smirk on the side, like, we could be talking about us. Why are we talking about somebody else? Okay. So she does ask him, what is his ideal woman? And he says she got to be smart. She got to push him intellectually, beautiful, caring, loving, hold down a family. And she's like, oh my gosh, you're talking about me? And that's about me? And that's about me? And I'm like, what does hold down the family mean, Joshua? What does hold down the family mean? And the reason why I ask this, the ladies here are not of African descent as Joshua is. There's a difference culturally to what holding down the family means. Do the ladies understand? I don't even know what your side of the family means, Joshua, when you say hold down the family. How much family are we talking about? See, while she's just like basking in the glow of all that he is telling her and she's finding it wonderful, you're not asking the serious question. Well, how much family are we talking? This nuclear family that we're going to build together, turn it on him and say that. Or you could be saying, oh, which family? Your whole family? How many people are in your whole family? Because my whole family come with about 15 people. And my whole family, Lexi could talk about she has 2 daughters. And does that family include my 2 girls? Lexi is not pushing the fact that she's a mother of 2 children. She said it in the beginning, and it is, a part of the conversation. But this was an ample time to bring them up again, because he said, hold down the family. I said, if we become a family, if we become a unit, does that include my girls? How does holding down the family look to you? What does holding down the family look like in the past? How has your family, or how has Uma held down the family? See, then she would get the real story that Uma is his aunt, and she held down the family when his mother had to go back to Africa to handle family business. Then she could kind of understand what holding down the family means. To go to Africa said, that's exactly what I was thinking, El said. I'm like, what is holding down the family? Because I need to know. So she come up and she says, well, all this is wonderful. Her romantic attraction is due to intelligence. So she is a sapiosexual. Okay? So I was like, okay, but you ain't getting a whole bunch from him. He's telling you what you want to hear. He's listing your attributes. He's listing things that could apply to you. It could also apply to the other ladies. Smart, push him intellectually, beautiful, caring, loving, hold down the family. That could be any of the ladies there. Nothing there said Lexi specifically. Nothing there. And especially when he's like, I don't want to talk about Tavares. Let's talk about us. We could be talking about us. He didn't want to talk about it. He holding his cards close to his chest. But she thinks they got closer. She thinks they got closer. To go to Africa says, if you have ever dated Nigerian men, you would know that is a question that needs to be asked. I'm telling you, and it's not, I understand the Nigerian connotation of it all. I am from the Caribbean, and it means just about the same for some Caribbean families. Not as heavy as the Nigerian family, but family is important. Anytime somebody tells you hold down or support, you need to know what that means. And even if they cannot say that, you should ask them, well, how has Uma held down the family? How have you seen a wife hold down the family? How would you like to see your woman hold down the family? That would tell you all you need to know about him. That would tell you a litany of things to know about him and what his expectations are. Because you said, Lexi, you wanted the hard questions asked, but you didn't ask the hard question. He flipped it on you, Lexi, and you fell for it. I'm sorry. He flipped it on it and you fell for it. The ladies appear to be focused on the competition of getting Joshua as opposed to evaluating if they can actually be a future with Joshua. I'm telling you, they are more focused on the win, and they don't even know what they're winning because they clearly said they don't know what entrepreneur he is, but they still focus on winning. To go to Africa says it is almost like a part of their culture. Yes, it is. That's why I need to know. For my other segment that I do call Unsolicited Advice, this young lady is expecting a kid, and he expects for his mom, his dad, his aunt, his uncle, and a few cousins to come live with them in her last month of pregnancy as support. And she's like, she can't do that. And I'm like, what are we talking about? He's like, that is part of the whole thing. Mama is going to be there to support her, and she's American, and he is from an African country. She's like, I can't do that. I can't have all these people in my house in my last month of pregnancy. She said she will go nuts. And we can understand that if that is not part of her culture. So again, Lexi, you said you wanted to ask the deep questions, and Joshua flipped it on you real quick. And that's what I think Lexi's points are going to tank for Joshua. She didn't catch it. She didn't push him back intellectually like he said. He actually said that can push him back intellectually, or can push him intellectually. And he proved right there in that moment that you ain't on his level. You didn't push back intellectually. You didn't ask any questions other than, oh, that's me. Oh, that's me. Oh, yes, I'm for you, Joshua. Girl, you got played and you lost. I doubt Joshua gonna look at you sideways ever again because he was able to play you. He liked Tamaris because Tamaris is keeping her cards close to her chest, and she let him be him. She let him do him, and she is not going to allow him to play her. And I think he likes the challenge. Chambrielle, yes, she can be a challenge too. I think Chambrielle would come up. I think she would have pushed back on him. I think Chambrielle would have been like, and what does that mean? And how exactly can I fit in that ideal that you have? I think Chambrielle would have. But Lexi, she just flicked the curls and started, basking in the glow. And I was like, Samantha said, is this pick me energy or am I being too simplistic? Elsid and chat family. So y'all, Samantha's asking, is this pick me energy? I would say it's a whiff. I'm getting a whiff of it, but I'm not getting a full pick me. Because she just was like, oh, that's me. She didn't, if she had presented, oh, I do this and I do this and I do this. This is how I fit that, that mold. And yes, I'm smart. Yes, I'm beautiful. If she was pushing each line item, I would say, pick me. She just said, oh, you're basically talking about me. And then she said she's a sapio person, which means she's attracted to intelligence. But my girl, the clip we just saw did not scream that you realized intelligence was being used against you right there. But yes, it's a little whiff of it, but it isn't too much. But people may say in the entirety, she could have been a pick-me. In the entirety of it, meaning she put Chambrielle to Tamara so that she's in front of Joshua. She also had a drink for him waiting when he walked in. So the entirety of the whole scene and the whole setup could be pick-me. But I'm getting a whiff of it. But as we're saying here, everything I think is pick me for me. And To Go to Africa said it's too early for me to know. I want To Go to Africa. It's giving whiff. It's giving a scent. It's giving an aroma of it. But it's not giving me fully pick me yet. She was on a mission and she failed. That's what it's giving me. She was on a mission to find out about the date and she failed. Because what did Joshua tell her about the date? What did he tell her? The mission was to find out what happened on the date. And in this, Chambrielle found out that Tamaris and Joshua kissed. Did Lexi find that out? Y'all, again, this is a produced, edited show. We're only basing it on what we have seen. So it could have been edited out. But what we have seen is Lexi failed the mission. She didn't find out about the date. She don't think it's a win because she found out the kind of woman he wants. And she thinks it's her. But he just used his intelligence against her, and she didn't find out anything. But he flipped it and said, we could be talking about us right now. We could be talking about us. Why are you trying to talk about some other woman? He didn't give up. Yeah, the day's all right, but we could be talking about us. He didn't give up the fact that where they went out, what food they had, they held hands. He didn't let out that they kissed. Lexi failed the mission. And Chambrielle got all the tea from Tamaris. To Go to Africa says, I'm not convinced that Lexi is really into him. I'm getting that too, but here's the thing. I'm getting that she wants to win against the other ladies, but not necessarily she wants him. Does that make sense to y'all? I'm getting that she wants to win, but I'm not sure she knows because she keeps on pressing. What kind of entrepreneur is he? What is this? What is that? And when a woman has that many questions about a man and she can't be solid into him, I don't think she really wants him because she doesn't really know him. So on that vein, To Go to Africa, I will be like, maybe she let him go about the date and she didn't really dig in about the information she was supposed to get because she's not really into him. I don't know. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts about Lexi failing the mission Joshua for the win. Shambriel for the win, getting all the deets from Tamara. Okay, she didn't even have Shambriel didn't have to say much, and Tamara was telling her all the business. Shambriel is good. She's like, "Oh, how was your day?" They knew what was happening. They knew what was happening. Meaning, Tamaris and Joshua knew what was happening. That they were splitting up. Like, they ain't slick. They ain't slick. They want information. Then why did you tell Shambriel that y'all kissed? Because you know what? Tamara's probably wanting to one up Shambriel. Said, I got kissed too. I got kissed too. That ain't no flex. I'm sorry. That ain't to me. That's to me. That ain't no flex. And it happened off camera. If you didn't say anything, we wouldn't have known. But again, it may have been filmed and they didn't show it to us on purpose. Okay? Maybe production is being messy and did not show us the kiss on purpose. Because if they kissed in the car, they were talking about they were singing and the music was playing and it just happened naturally. There's cameras in the car. So why didn't y'all show us this kiss between Joshua and Tamaris? Even if it's just a flash it in black and white so we know what happened. Production is up to something. Production is up to something. So we do see there are previews. Okay? There are previews. The previews for James and Charlize is the ladies list what they spend on self-care. Y'all, did y'all see the self-care list? This is going to be real hot and spicy next time. I really do hope actually Aubrey can join us next time because I got to ask. Alicia, that we saw for the preview, said she got a yoga membership. She colors her hair once a month. She goes to saunas. And Mama wants to know if Alicia got a sugar daddy, because how could she afford all this at 25? And it's his choice, James's choice, to pick for a massage date. That is in next week's preview. Okay? Now, that was for James for next week's preview. That was for James. Next week, we got a preview too for Joshua and Uma. Uma asks, what do they spend on makeup? And Tamara says she spends a bag. Now, I need to know how big that bag is, okay? Is it a personal item? Is it a carry-on? Or is it checked luggage? I need to know the size of that bag. I need to know the size of that bag, Tamara. What is the size of that bag? Hey, K-Sharp, welcome on in. We were just wrapping up. I'm talking about the previews for next week. Uma asked, what do y'all spend on makeup? Tamaris is a bag. I need to know the size of that bag, Tamaris. How many bands are in that bag? A little backpack, a little carry-on, a cutesy little purse, or is it a full check bag? What is a bag? And Uma says, who spends this money? Who are you expecting to spend this? You or your man? And y'all, Tamaris has a confessional that says she's getting the ick. The ick is coming on for Tamaris for next week's episode. Y'all, ooh-wee. I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. The ick. What did he do? Did he go kissing somebody else? So Elle said, how do you feel about not seeing every group each week? I'm kind of torn about it, D Brown. I'm kind of torn about it, and I'm thinking maybe we get to see every group next week once the ladies start getting dwindled down, because I think we should vote out a lady about now. I think we need to vote down and have the top two right about now. I think we're getting into a section where it's too many ladies still, and that's why we can't get but much footage. But yeah, I really don't feel good about it's been 1 and 5 is when we see Joshua and Uma. I think that was too long. But I understand because so much was happening with James and so much was happening with Chad and his mother. So the pacing for me is a little off. I wouldn't have it as 4 episodes and we don't see the first grouping. That's for sure. So in this instance, what I would have done, production, this is free of charge. What I would do is, since we had James and Joshua and we ended it, I would move James out, keep Joshua, and flow in from Joshua. Whoever you ended with, flow into the next episode with them and bring who you didn't have on the last episode. So you constantly have a rotation. Constantly have a rotation of folks that you don't go 4 episodes without seeing, or 3 episodes without seeing one of the gentlemen and his mom. Okay, Shop, I think a bag means 1,000 or more. Is that what y'all spend on makeup? No judgment here. I'm just asking. Full disclosure, my mother is a pageant girl. She was a pageant girl. My grandmother too. Me, no, absolutely not. Don't wear makeup, and you could tell, natural hair. So, Samantha said, yes, the pacing is definitely off. Yeah, we're missing Joshua too much. We're missing Joshua and Uma. Or, you know what y'all did? Y'all went in on Uma for the colorism of it all. Y'all went in on Uma that she may be skin bleaching, and they're like, we need to have this, calm down a little bit. We need this to calm down before we bring Uma back on the stage. So we need to edit this and make sure 3 episodes we don't see Uma. Let's let the internet calm down, and don't go after, Uma. Y'all were going after Uma, and yes, it has calmed down a bit. What are their occupations? To go to Africa is asking, what are their occupations? Let me go to the first episode. What I found, here's it. Joshua is 28. He is an NFL free agent. Okay, he was there with his aunt, Uma. Chad is 30 years old. He's a financial analyst, and he is there with his mom, Katina. And James, 30 years old. He's an engineer, and he's there with his mom, Charlize. Okay, so Joshua, NFL free agent, Chad, financial analyst, and James, engineer. Those are the jobs. Pretty, sustainable jobs. NFL free agent. I don't know if Joshua has been picked up. I don't know if Joshua has been picked up by a team. I don't know. I really don't know if he has been picked up at all. I don't know. I see that he's a free agent. So I wonder if he's going to be on somebody's roster. Oh, you're asking about the women who are big spenders. We don't know. Well, I do know. Hold on. The ladies who are big spenders. So, Tamaris, who says she spends a bag. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Before I say what her job is, we do know the jobs of the ladies. Tamaris, who says she does a bag, and a big bag. Her bag is related to her job. The makeup can be. I'm no tax professional, nor am I offering tax advice. Okay. Tamaris is a sports journalist, and that throws me off because she should at least know who he is. Low-key, I forgot about James until Elson and D. Brown brought it up. You forgot about James, and we talked about him when we started the recap. Hey, K-Shop is saying hey to all of you guys. Yeah. So Tamaris is a journalist, and she does have on-camera segment talking about sports. I don't think she's talking about the NFL. She may be college sports or another kind of sportscaster, but we did see she's on camera doing sports journalism. So her bag may be also related to work. So she may be having to be on camera a lot, so she has to have makeup a lot. Lexi is a marketing manager, and Chambrielle is a mortgage broker. Now, who else did you want to know about? So James's ladies, Bravon is an entrepreneur, but I thought her business was like helping young ladies navigate the pageant world. Don't quote me. Sabrina is a property manager, and Alicia is a marketing coordinator and a nightclub hostess. So she too could be like, the makeup is part of what I gotta put on for work. K Sharp said she will need HD makeup, which is expensive. Right. Thank you, K Sharp. She will need that makeup that really flows properly on camera. So we won't judge. Okay, we won't judge her too harshly. That's Tamara's. When she said she spends a bag, we're hoping she will explain it. That's why the preview was a teaser to get us to be like, girl, a bag? I didn't know Mac cost that much. I didn't know it cost that much. For me, it's not just the cost of it, it's the time. It's the time taken to put the makeup on and then to wash it off at the end of the day. That to me is a lot. Kudos and hats off to all you ladies who do it. Kudos to y'all. I said what I said all this time. I'm just now smashing the like button. That tells me you're enthralled. That tells me you're caught up in, the excitement and what we're talking about. But thank you so much. And everyone, as I said what I said did, she hit the like button. I hope you have hit the like button already. And make sure you're subscribed. I have all my watch hours, but I definitely need my subscribership to go up, and I can't do it without you. To go to Africa said it's basically a rhetorical question. It just seems like a lot of money to spend on makeup. Yes, and as K Sharp just told us, that may be why Tamaris is spending so much money on her makeup. So y'all, that was it for episode 5. I hope you don't mind that I was solo this time. Actually, Aubrey could not join me today, but I'm hoping she will next week because we are in for episode 6. Please, again, make sure you are subscribed to the channel and the notification bell is on. I try to be on time every time. I just try. And I cover Love is Blind. I'm coming up with Alone, History Channel's Alone, where people are dropped alone in a territory and they have to survive for as many days to out-survive the next person. That is an awesome show. If you can go watch it on Alone. Yes, Samantha, thank you. I said, I have a lot of makeup, but I don't put it on. Girl, I used to be like that. I used to have a lot of makeup and didn't put it on because I said my mother's pageant girl. I'm glad y'all had a great time. Leave your comments, leave your likes, make sure you are subscribed. We're just patiently also waiting on Love is Blind. But in the meantime, I have unsolicited advice and I have a new episode coming up, I believe tomorrow. I'll have to look and see what I schedule it for, but it's usually on Sundays at noon and on Wednesdays, and Thursday may have to be early because I have graduation stuff with my youngest son. So y'all, thank you so much. And I enjoyed y'all as usual. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on the next one.